Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into what is, for so many of us, the most frustrating part of learning chess, the opening. We're going to give you a super simple but really powerful framework so you can stop losing games before they've even had a chance to get going.
All right, section 1, the 10-move trap. Look, we've all been there, right? You sit down, you're feeling good about this game, you make a couple of moves, and then bam. All of a sudden, your whole position is just collapsing. Your queen gets trapped, or even worse, you're checkmated. It's gotta sound familiar.
Yeah? Losing a game in under 10 moves? It's a hugely frustrating thing, especially for new players. You feel like you just got tricked, or like there's some secret handshake you don't know about. But here's the good news. You're definitely not alone. And the fix isn't what you think. It's not about memorizing 1,000 moves. It's about a simple change in how you think about the game.
So that leads us right into section 2, a new way to think. A lot of beginners, they think the only way to get good at openings is to memorize these crazy long, complicated lines that they see grandmasters play. But here's the secret, and it's a big one. Most grandmasters will tell you that is exactly what you shouldn't do. So why not? Why wouldn't you want to copy the best players? Well, because memorizing a specific sequence of moves is incredibly rigid. The second your opponent makes a move you haven't seen, your whole house of cards just collapses. So the solution isn't memorization. It's about changing your mindset. Instead of memorizing moves, you need to understand the principles behind what makes a good opening.
And this slide really puts it into perspective. On one hand, you've got memorizing openings. It's rigid, it's difficult, and honestly, it's fragile. It's like building something out of glass. It looks good until the first tiny bit of pressure, and then it just shatters. But learning principles, that's flexible, it's simple, and it's powerful. It's like having a compass instead of a map. The math is useless if you go off the trail, but the compass will help you find your way no matter where you are.
All right, section 3, the 3 golden rules. So what does this chess compass actually look like? Well, it points you toward just three core goals for your opening. If you can get these right, I promise you, you will find yourself in a solid, totally playable position every single time, ready to fight in the middle game.
And here they are. Your whole plan really just boils down to these 3 things. Step 1, control the center. Think of those 4 squares in the middle as the most valuable real estate on the entire board. Everything revolves around them. Step 2, develop your pieces. This just means getting your knights and your bishops off the back rank and into the game, into the action. And finally, step 3, secure your king. Once your army is starting to move out, you've got to get your king to safety, and that almost always means castling behind a nice, safe wall of pawns.
Okay, let's move on to section 4, 3 beginner blunders. Because look, knowing what you should do is only half the battle, right? The other half is knowing what you should absolutely not do. So let's look at a few of the most common traps that might look tempting, but can actually lose you the game on the spot.
And I can't stress this enough. You have to avoid these things. Avoiding these mistakes is just as important as following the golden rules. Seriously. Think of these as giant danger signs on your road to getting better at chess. So what are they? Okay, blunder number 1, pushing that F-pawn. We'll talk about why in a sec, but just don't do it. Blunder 2, bringing your queen out way too early. And blunder 3, playing on the edge of the board. Now, let's take a look at exactly why these are so terrible for your game. So that F-pawn, why is touching it so bad? Look at this. When your king is safe, it's tucked behind a wall of pawns. But the second you push that F-pawn, you create this gaping diagonal, a wide-open highway pointed directly at your king. It is literally like lowering the drawbridge to your castle and waving the enemy army right on in. It's a huge self-inflicted weakness.
And what about playing on the edge of the board? Well, there's a saying in chess, a knight on the rim is dim. And this shows you why. A knight sitting over on the edge of the board, it only controls 2 squares. It's basically on vacation. But you take that same exact piece and put it in the center, it controls 8 squares. It's a monster. It influences the whole game. The power of your pieces comes from where they are on the board, and they belong in the center, not on the sidelines.
Okay, next up, section 5, the 1 habit to master. We've talked about the rules you need to follow and the big blunders you have to avoid. But now we get to the one thing
the single most important habit that ties all of this together. If you master this one thing, it will transform your game more than anything else we've talked about. So, what is it? What is this single most important habit? And just a hint, it's not about a specific move or a fancy opening. It's a fundamental shift in how you see the board. It's the difference between actually playing chess and just moving pieces around. The master habit is this: calculate. And okay, hold on. Calculate sounds scary, right? It sounds like you have to be a supercomputer seeing 10 moves ahead. That's not what we mean. For a beginner, to calculate means one very, very simple thing. Stop playing the game as if you're the only person at the board.
You have to live by this quote. Don't play as if you're alone. Always ask, what is my opponent's threat? Seriously, before every single move you make, just pause for 2 seconds and ask that question. What did my opponent's last move actually do? What are they trying to do to me on their next move? If you just start looking one move ahead for your opponent, you will immediately stop walking into simple traps, and the entire game will open up to you in a completely new way.
Which brings us to our last section, number 6, your first real opening. Okay, so we've got the rules, we know what to avoid, we know we have to think about our opponent, but how do we put all of that together? It can still feel like a lot. The easiest way to start is by using something called a system opening. So what's a system opening? It's basically an opening that's based on a specific, really reliable setup for your pieces, and you can use it against almost anything your opponent does. Think of it like a blueprint. Instead of worrying about reacting to every single move your opponent makes, you just focus on building your own solid structure. It's a setup that already has all those golden rules baked right in. And here are a couple of fantastic recommendations to get you started. If you're playing with the white pieces, check out the London system. The setup is super simple. You build this solid little pawn pyramid, and then you just develop all your pieces behind it. It's like building a fortress. It's incredibly solid, super safe, and gives you a clear plan. Now, if you're playing with black, a great choice is the King's Indian system. The idea here is a bit different. You let white build up in the center, but you create this super flexible setup yourself. The key move is something called a fianchetto, which is just a fancy way of saying you put your bishop here on g7. From there, it controls the longest diagonal on the entire board, like a hidden sniper ready to cause problems later. Both of these systems will give you a reliable plan from move 1.
So there you have it. You now have the rules. You see, you don't need to go memorize dozens of complicated openings. Just stick to the principles. Control the center, develop your pieces, get that king safe, you know the blunders to avoid. And most importantly, above everything else, you're always going to ask, what is my opponent trying to do? You now have the complete toolkit to play a solid, successful chess opening every single time. So, how are you going to play your next game?